Okay guys, so welcome back. I've been asked to do this, so I'll do it. That's a setup tour, so to say. Yeah, so we start at the top. That right there, this camera, is a PS3i camera that I use for head tracking. That what you saw in my videos that I recorded earlier. Basically all since 2015 they use this camera. It's as good as Track IR. It scans with 120 Hertz and yeah, it works with LEDs that are attached to your headset, and that works really well. You'll see in the videos, I think, and there is no difference between this and actual Track IR except the price. This plus the clip cost 40 pounds, 40 English pounds. And Track IR, I think, costs like, I don't know, 150 or so. I don't know the current price, but it's really expensive. Okay, so then let's go down to the monitor. That is my monitor that I use since 2014. That is an HP 27XI, I think, or XL. XI, yes. So I like the look of it because it looks like a little bit like an iMac when it's off. So the silver and slim bezels, etc., etc. I like this really much. Yeah, you can connect this via HDMI, I think. It's too old for DisplayPort, but HDMI is fine. It's 1080p, nothing special. One special thing about it, maybe, is that I overclocked it, so to say. So it's a normal 60 Hertz panel, but when you go to the NVIDIA control panel, you can make a custom resolution, and there you can set the Hertz number. So as you can see, I changed the 60 Hertz to 75 Hertz. That makes it a little bit more responsive, which you can notice during fast movements when you are scanning for enemies or something like that. That's really nice. Your monitor can likely do this as well. If you have a 60 Hertz panel, you can just change the Hertz number. If I put it to 76 Hertz, it gives me a black screen, so it doesn't work. But up to 75, everything is fine. That's 15 Hertz more than normal. So it works, and it's really good. So maybe you can try this. Of course, if any damages occur, I'm not responsible. I have to say this, I guess, but yeah, it makes your gaming experience a little bit better. Okay, that's the monitor. Next, maybe this is my, is it in the picture? Yeah. So this is my recording microphone. That's a Samsung G-Track. That's also really old. I think that's from 2012. It does the job. So in every video that I've done in the past, almost everyone, that was being used. For some reason, I don't know why, this has a very good audio output in, so when you record videos, so right, if you watch the videos, you can hear my voice and it's all loud and clear and etc. I don't know why in Discord though, when I communicate with others, which doesn't happen too often, but when it happens, it's not the best quality. You can go watch Toastman's video about the last 262 squad that we've flown in. And it's, I don't know, maybe that's a Discord problem. I think it is, because the microphone itself records fine. It's just that the audio in Discord is sometimes really distorted. Don't ask me why. Next, the keyboard. I got this from the company that makes these because I made a review on it, or I offered to make a review on it. The company is called Red Dragon, with one D, so Red Dragon, basically. That is, I'm not sponsored by them, but I wish I would. So this is a really great keyboard. This is basically the best keyboard that I've ever had. From the looks and from functionality. This is exactly what I need. If you hear something meow, that's my cat in the background. Shut up! So if you can see this, it's made from metal, so the whole thing is super heavy. It's like, I don't know, 2 kilos or something. Bang. It's really sturdy. The keys, that's the keys sound. So it's not too loud. It's RGB. I set it to just red because it doesn't blind you if it's dark, and it's also not too bright when it's light outside. And it has different programs. You can set this. I set it to one program just because that's what I use. But it can light up in different colors. Yeah, there you go. So it's all changing now. You can set up to 6 different programs in the software, and then they get saved basically on the device, which is nice. When you change the PC, it's still saved in the keyboard. So there's a little chip inside and they save your programs. I just set it to red and I never change it. That's the reason why I'm fiddling around, because yeah. So that's what I use. As I said, this is really the best keyboard. I think when you buy it, it's around $70 or something like that. Nobody knows the company, Red Dragon, but yeah, it looks really nice. It also comes with a little metal thingy which you can pull up these keys right here, and to clean them, and also you can change the little switches under the keys. So they are cherry compatible, and so you can change these to make it a different feeling. It's really nice. I like this. I will keep these for a long time. If it doesn't break, and I don't, it will. Before that I had a Logitech G710, and it was more expensive. I think when I bought it, it was $130, so euro for me, and it was worse than this. So yeah. Next, maybe also expensive, not expensive, but important. This is my joystick. Actually, it's the contrary of expensive. This is, as I call it, the Warthog Mini. Why do I call it like this? Because it's also made by Thrustmaster, and in it are the same sensors as in the big Warthog, but the Warthog costs hundreds of dollars, and this cost, I think, 50 or 60, if I remember correctly. So this is not a normal analog sensor in it. These are Hall sensors. Google this if you want to know how it works. So basically they are super accurate and they do improve your aim. I would never buy anything else again. If this breaks, I buy another one. I use this since 2015 again, and it has been really fine. So really, really nice joystick. It doesn't have the most buttons, but you can live with this, really. I also play DCS with it. The big modules with many functions. I just set stuff to my keyboard if the buttons on here are not enough. But mostly this works really well. So regarding accuracy, I cannot recommend this enough. As I said, it won't make you a better pilot, obviously, because you have to know the tactics, etc. yourself. But it does make the flying experience better. This is my mouse pad, which I don't really use actually. It's a Razer Exact Mat. They don't sell these anymore. This is also very old. It's from 2005. It has 2 sides basically, and so you can change the side, and then yeah, the mouse glides better on it. It has been fine. No scratches or anything. So yeah, if you buy a good product once, you can keep it for a long time. My mouse, nothing special, I guess. It's a MX 510, I think. Also really old. If you buy these new, maybe 60 or so, $60. It has a nice sensor on it, so with internal error correction basically, so you can draw a straight line with it when you try, and it doesn't make any curves or whatever. So that's, yeah, I don't play FPS too much, so shooters, etc. But when I do, for example, World War III, yeah, that's also nice. The headset, I never can remember the name because it's another one of these products which were not expensive, but very good. So it's really, really soft here. The sound in it is really great, I have to say, especially for the price. So it's called, I looked this up actually, because as I said, I can't remember the name. It's called Nubwo, Nubwo gaming headset. Yeah, I don't know who came up with this name, but I just had a look on Amazon, and the reviews are great, and it is actually great. So it's not a USB headset, it connects via 3.5mm audio jack, and yeah, it's really nice. Connected with it, of course, is the Delon clip, which is my tracking clip. Maybe I can show you this again. So that is the clip. It's connected via USB. It has 3 IR LEDs, and they basically are picked up by the camera I showed you at first, and that makes your head move in games like DCS or War Thunder. It has a track IR emulation, so games think that it's using track IR because there is a trackir.exe running, which isn't actually the real program, but just an emulation. But you don't have to worry about this. It works very fine. I use it with a program called OpenTrack, and that is available on Windows, Mac, and if you can compile it, also on Linux. So it's free. I really like this. The whole package, as I said, £40, I think. And it has held up really well. Okay, now let's go down even more to the actual PC. So I built these myself. I always build my systems on my own. So I don't know if you can actually see what's inside. Maybe it's a little bit too dark, but I just gonna tell you. The case is an H510, I guess, from NZXT. And the internals are, that's an X99 motherboard, and that was Intel's former HEDT platform, so the high-end platform. And it has some features that are quite nice, especially considering its age. So the mainboard and the processor are from 2014, but the mainboard offers a very wide variety of processors that you can put on it. So you can use little quad cores, but you can also use up to 22 cores on that thing. So if you wanted to, you can put a Xeon with 22 cores and 24 or 48, 44, I don't know. So a lot of threads on it, and that's really nice. It's getting cooled by a Noctua NHD14, great cooler, and the processor is a i7-5820K, that's a 6-core 12-thread processor, and it's running at 4.2 gigahertz. As I said, I could easily upgrade this to 8 cores, I think 12, 20, 22. I could go all crazy with this because it's an old platform, but it's capable still. But I don't really need this. You can't see this, I guess, because it's too dark, but the RAM is Kingston HyperX Fury, and it's 32 gigabytes in quad channel. Now you might say, okay, quad channel, that doesn't make any sense, except you get better numbers. But in games like DCS, for example, which rely heavily on throughput, system throughput in general, like fast RAM, fast SSDs, and all the links between the different parts of your hardware, you can feel this definitely in comparison to normal dual channel RAM. It's DDR4, of course, which means, well, no, of course, it's from 2014. So DDR4 quad channel 2014, up to 22 cores. That's not too bad. The graphics card is GeForce GTX 1660 Super with 6 GB of GDDR6 memory. Not too bad. It could be faster, but the current prices for graphics cards are ridiculous. So for a mainstream card, basically, you have to shell out $250. If you want to go one tier higher, it's 400. And if you want really something high-end, it's 4-digit numbers that you have to shell out. And I'm not going to do that. Definitely not. Okay, so the internal drives, which you can also not see because they're hidden, even if it was a little bit brighter. The system drive is a Crucial MX500 with 500 GB. The main drive for games and recording, I don't know if you can see this, it's so dark, right? I can see it if I know where it is. No, I don't think you can see it. It's a Western Digital Black SN750 NVMe drive. Now again, you might wonder, NVMe, that's a relatively new trend, like 2018, 19, of course this year, yeah, but this is from 2014. And indeed, it's normal PCI Express connection, so it's fast. It's about 3,500 megabytes per second tops. That's really nice. Yeah, and then I also have basically a scratch disk for stuff which is not so important. It's a 1 terabyte server drive, so a normal one, a normal spinning hard drive. Yeah, so that's that. All in all, I have no intention to upgrade anything here, I guess, because everything works. Maybe you would say now, okay, 6 cores in 2020, that might be fine for games, but what about rendering? Actually, so I use Adobe Premiere for rendering, and since version 14.2, what they do is they encode H.264 and H.265 completely with your graphics card. So before that, I had a AMD FX, but with the same graphics card. And believe it or not, when you compare the rendering times between an AMD FX, which is much slower than an 5820K, there is almost no difference. So maybe 1 or 2 minutes in some, but not more. That is because I render with my graphics card. And if you use the same graphics card, there's not a lot of difference. The processor helps, of course, a little bit. But if I would change this from a 6 core to a 10 core or whatever, you would be surprised that there is almost no reduction in rendering times. So 14.2 Adobe Premiere and everything up, I can highly recommend this, even paying for it, because if you are creating content regularly and if you then press export, I can quickly show you the export settings that I normally use. So it's nothing special really. The frame rate is locked to 60. That's the same as I record. Progressive, and here the performance is hardware acceleration. That would be the mode before 14.2, and here it says hardware acceleration. And that makes Go stuff really fast. So I record with the graphics card, with the integrated encoder of the 1660 Super, and I also render with it. And the quality is nice, as you can see. Also, this video will be rendered. The bitrate I've always put, so when it's War Thunder, I put it to 16. I know that YouTube compresses it to 12 or so, but I rather have higher quality footage, and yeah, that's all. And then I press export and I'm done. I just, for example, let me show you. So this is a video, a random one that I loaded. It's 16 minutes long. And if I press export now, let me show you this, then you can see it's 3 minutes, 30 seconds, and even counting down really fast. And if you can see in the task manager, yes, the processor is helping, but the graphics card is doing most of the job in the video encode section, right? So it's 70%, and of course changing a little bit every time. But the graphics card is doing the biggest job when rendering. And now it says 1 minute, 55, 54, 53. Yeah, so that's how I render. Maybe that's interesting to some of you. I really like this. It's much faster than with CPU. But we are at 32, 33%, already 34. I cancel this now. That was just for showing off. Okay, yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that. And now you know what I'm using. Maybe that's interesting. So until the next one, guys. Bye-bye.